Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. We will have a performance at the last section of these readings today at this panel. We have Dr. Priya Srinivasan, who's performing the poetry of Cahill. Dr. Srinivasan has a PhD in performance studies and was an associate professor at the University of California, Riverside, and has written the award-winning book, Sweating Saris, Indian Dance as Transnational Labor. Her work brings together feminist theory and practice with the body at the core to ask questions about gendered transnational labor and decolonization. Cahill is an award-winning poet and fiction author, a fiction writer, author of Letter to Pessoa, a collection of lyrical fictions. She won the Hilary Mantel International Short Story Contest and was shortlisted in the ABR Elizabeth Jolley Prize and the Wasafara New Writing Prize. She has written essays on race and cultural diversity for media and print. They're accompanied by Uthra, Vijay, and Sridhar Chari. Uthra Vijay is the artistic director of the Kirtana School of Music in Melbourne that she founded in 2003. She has an extensive background in Indian classical music and has won several awards and is equally comfortable working in the classical realm or experimenting with contemporary music forms. Sridhar Chari is a leading percussion player and flautist and has been associated with the Australian music scene for well over 3 decades. And he's received the Multicultural Award from the Victorian Government in 2011. Please join me in welcoming all of them.
Devaloka. The road leads us away from the temple of Parvati, from the iris of the spotted hawk, red and gold satin, the smoke of burning dupe and coconut offerings, away from bells touched by the fingers of pilgrims. As we wind across the range down steep hairpin bends, we are losing our mukti, already forgetting what we have left, the Devaloka. The red dirt crumbling beneath our sandals was the undoing of Namarupa, a reminder of Shiva's hip thrust in Tribanga against the gravity of this place. Beyond us, the peaks of Trisal, Kamat and Nanda Devi, the Garhwal Himalayas, binding like a white turban wave after wave of denuded hills and barren ramparts. Blood-coloured as a lotus, the sun descends, setting alight the candles of juniper, sal and Bhojpatra, the sky's oxides, the dust of Dehradun. Each bend in the road is a new discovery, an act of faith. We glue our gaze to what lies ahead, a crossing of cattle, donkeys weary from the day's toil, goats feeding on riverine scrub, children playing cricket, the maids and gopis of some myth or chanda collecting fuel and water, the road workers, constructionists and wielders dressed in thongs and scarves, carrying their hoes, spades, sieves. Soon we'll be back in the town with its car horns, its tinkle of cycles and rickshaws, its smells of oil cake and cardamom. We'll return to the house as vendors close their stalls, as monkeys loping from a telegraph wire cast shadows, as a street sweeper burns his rubbish for warmth. Pastiche, a winged hieroglyph. The ibis roams into an architecture of cranes, gantry, rows of terraces in their heritage tunics. The park is littered with cigarette butts, graffiti. The harbour is glazed. A ferry chalks its way towards the pier. Flags pole dance in Woolloomooloo, where pedestrians gather for a drink or a meal on a Friday evening in spring. I lie inertly on the grass while another foreigner, the Henry Moore statue, inspires a different spatial boundary. Later, driving north across the bridge, past the fat silver snake of a train, I try to imagine a world without diversity. Stalled in peak hour, I have time to consider how greenhouse gases are choking the sky. The parallax drift of roadworks, pylons, jacaranda bloom are a montage so familiar that I feel carelessly numb, reading an SMS at the traffic lights, then texting back. Sita. She came from the chawls of Karnatapura, those ancient five-storey houses with their long verandas, swanned by ladies of the night who leant over banisters, whispering in dark alleys, wearing rouge and kajal. Keeper of beds, cheaper than kothi for public servants, for drunken men of the village, more outcast than Dalit, Bangi, or Dobi. She came from the chawls of Karnatapura, jangling her ankle bells with deep-throated taunts, prodding me on the train to Andheri when I was a foreigner in my own country. I was 10 years old on summer vacation, packed in the ladies' carriage, dressed in T-shirt and Levi's, among the garlands, the gagras, ingenuous to her chicanery, her occult skill, not knowing beneath her sari the unspeakable scars of custom and ridicule. A cultural fragment out of context, a gender beyond my Christian judgments, Fata Morgana, a ficto-critical anecdote. I'd never read the epic myths or studied Sanskrit. I was ignorant of Lord Krishna made incarnate as the beautiful Mohini and engaged to Aravanan. Her name was Sita, once from Bihar. She was beaten and disowned by her family, assaulted by beggars, by police, a harridan, an anarchist, her blouse loose and gaudy, her eyes so wild I would not forget. She came from the chawls of Karnatapura, a bathhouse where she lived with her mothers, her sisters, and her friends. Ganesha resurrected. What was it like to be dead? not crucified or entombed. Whichever way you turned, your head sliced from your body by Shiva's sword, while Parvati detoxed in a scented spa. To be shaped from sandalwood by the hands of a goddess, to invite the gesture of a mudra, to be remodeled auspiciously by a north-facing elephant, a swastika, a seal of the ancient Hindus. Lord of the Ganas, a woman's dangerous moods returned your life, improbable and half remembered. You are not the father's phallus. You guard the granaries, the terracotta tablets and inscriptions of those cremated and uncremated, the heroes in temple carvings, comic books, television dramas and gold foil Tanjore paintings were recorded by you for Vyasa the sage. What tectonic affair? What orogeny hurled you into the present? I wonder by what gangetic detour you arrived. Bees, Yamuna, Brahmaputra. Perhaps your chakra is subterranean and your mantra a trinity. Om precedes afterlife. In one incarnation, you are three worlds. Your appellations translate appearance undecayed, a single tusk, the fecundity of a pot belly, and the feminine noun for wisdom. I dreamed you came riding past my house on a skateboard. Christ chose a donkey. But you, a spiritual pest inspector, arrived to clean out the cobwebs, to expose the heart's furtive parasites. There were rodents and menaces of all kinds I needed to subdue. It was not by judgment or prophecy, nor the visions of Ezekiel. I had no wish to restore the dry bones. All I wanted was release. You bridged the living gap between Brahmins and Sudras. Congress pitched you, a symbol of protest against colonial rule. Guards of every man, every woman, all sex. In the pantheon of deities, your rise is phenomenal. Ganpati, you're a celebrity. Dancing in stone, wood, or plaster, acolyte or principal divinity, you are a god of transitions, passages, doorways, merchants. Once at Chatuthi, I saw you on a bright red pandal, adorned with vermilion, kumkum and modikas. Bhangra and hip-hop played as you sank beneath earth to where the river touches earth. Lakshmi under oath. I left my footprints on the threshold. of ancient temples, pointing inwards like the flow of fortune. In 200 BC, well-intentioned seers fashioned me, etched in bronze, on lintels, the gateways to the city. The land was barren, a salt marsh where Indra slayed a three-headed fiend, pole stars drifting and rivers forked. How my parasitic limbs ached, my breast cut off, its vestiges leaking milk. I was spared of Vedic hymns, a self-sovereign. The villagers offered testimony in rice cakes, garlands, jyoti. Untouchables defiled me. Brahmin beggars stalked me, carping for centuries. From that sensual debut, I was glitter in the ocean's foam. Here are my breasts, and here are my 20 acrylic nails, my spinal brace, my club feet. And precious sores. All this lotus mania, crouching in Ganges mud, takes its toll. Even poets are stalking me. I am dripping in gold, they can't resist. Close up, the room is full of strangers, shaking, coughing as I sign the affidavit in my red half slip and swallow a pill. Vishnu, I am not bipolar. I am post-op, with a Restylane flush on a spending spree, unfolding in you as the moon would. And this last poem is Insiders, Afghanistan. Insiders, Afghanistan, Australian War Memorial. A swathe of poppies, a memorial to Darafshan, a father's odium for the rogue soldier. In dust-winged chaos, machine guns strafed 0 hour, NATO games unplugged. Those privates targeted by the Q&A talkback. Was the insider Taliban or insurgent? Did the sapper trust his foe? the never artless, pernicious stare, a catchphrase retweeted, the task force debriefed at camp, coalition. Official permits are redacted. I picture their final gaze drifting into outback ley lines from black mesas, stony winter lakes, desert frost. Wind wraps each homicide in Quranic ash. Why not embargo Sharia law from the civilizing canon? Homesick for a country of neo-fascists and anti-Muslim provocations, in a country of empty schools, water shortages, and zero literacy. We do unto others. Because 200 years of amnesia is our excuse for genocide. Because apostasy is our rule. Thank you. Thanks to the dancers. Thank you.